Hello, fellow trainers and illustrators. Welcome to my art cafe. I am your host, Bettimus, and it is now the end of week 2 of Inktober, and I'd like to talk a little bit about composition. Last week we touched a little bit on line art and how important it is to have line variants to help your drawings pop. What is composition? We'll keep it simple for this sake. Composition is the arrangement of any visual elements in your artwork. You can use composition to create areas of interest. In my piece here, the point of interest is right above the characters. I'm making both the trainer and Pokemon look at the same point and also posing them so that including their bodies will guide the viewer's eyes to that point in space. Now I am keeping the line art one size on purpose, mainly because I personally need to compare the figures to the large black background I'm going to be filling in a bit. Here you'll see, I was struggling a little bit on the mouth for Flygon, and I tried a couple designs. Even before I started filming, I did try a couple of different mouth shapes or jaw shapes, and I couldn't make up my mind. So don't be afraid to walk away from a particular tough spot in a drawing. Just leave it alone for a bit and come back to it later. As I was drawing the circle, I decided I wanted to try something out. It was going to be of just a plain old black circle in the background, and I was going to fill in like a starry sky. As I was drawing the background, I decided, why not have clouds? It would help out a lot with the composition. I would place the clouds in a way that they all look like they're also pointing generally in the direction where my two characters are facing here. Unfortunately, I had already drawn that half part of the circle, and I just decided to keep going. If anything, if I like the way the composition looked better with the circle entirely drawn in, I would just simply fill in the gaps on the right here. And if not, there's always, remember what I mentioned on the last Inktober video, a little bit of white paint to cover up those mistakes. Filling in large shapes with one color is a bit of a tedious job, but if you just take it at chunks at a time, it's not so bad. There's a certain therapy to it, and a nice repetition. And there's something satisfying about when you fill in blocks at a time. This may be slightly advanced for beginners at composition, but the general shape that the characters have here in this piece has a pyramid-like shape. You can see what I mean if you imagine Flygon's massive body as the base of the pyramid. Then the way Flygon's head turns to look at Minior becomes the second side. The third side is the trainer's body. The way she is angled helps create the imaginary pyramid shape. For compositioning, you want to try and go for noticeable shapes because they can be aesthetically pleasing to the eyes and can help tell clearer stories. Now I need to draw in Minior's eyes and mouth shape so I know what to fill in. Before I started adding line variant to the drawing, I wanted to add hatching as a form of shading onto the drawing. I am using only one direction for the hatching, but you can do crisscross. You can even do horizontal lines, or you can angle them the other way. I just find it easier for myself to draw in this direction. When I started inking here with the white pen, I didn't realize that my camera literally just stopped on me. Usually it signals a little sound that it's going to die, but unfortunately it cut out, and by the time I found out, I had already drawn the swirls around Minior. And now to add that line variance I had talked about. I felt that it didn't need too much of thick lines or thin lines because most of the focus was to the top. The composition was designed so that the viewer's eyes would follow up. Essentially, everyone would be looking up at Minnie or up in the sky. In the end here, I decided that I really liked the way the gaps looked on the clouds on the right. So I just whited out the clouds on the left. Nice and simple, just some white paint. Mr. Gracie still wants to see a mouth on that Flygon. Alright, Mr. Gracie, whatever you say. There we go, another finished piece for my Inktober. I hope your guys' Inktobers are doing well. And if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more. I will have a link to my Tumblr in the description. And until next time, illustrators, trainers, and coffee lovers, stay cozy!